The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Sunday night brought the triple bypass Nichols Oil's Pro Cup Series to Bristol Motor Speedway, and 14 cautions came upon us. To end the Bristol week, we bring the ARCA cars here with these triple bypass guys to see how they can handle the 30 degrees of banking here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Will we have another caution fest? Will we have a fantastic bump and run finish, or will somebody run off into the distance and this race goes as clean as a whistle? Let's find out together in about 60 minutes time. Welcome everyone to PTR TV. Today's coverage of the Triple Bypass ARCA Series. We'll be doing 175 laps around Thunder Valley, and this race is presented by Cultured Designs in Terry Brooks. Thanks to him for putting that on for us. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck. Patrick Reckles Coleman here to help me out with the commentary. So we missed last week's race at I believe they were at Five Flags. That was seen on a different channel, Patrick, but we still have some short track racing, high speeds here at Bristol.
Indeed, Corey. Yeah, Bristol is a very historic speedway. If you know anything about oval racing, you know Bristol. It's one of the biggest deals when it comes to oval racing. A circuit originally opened in 1960. Its current iteration has been around since about 2021, so a few recent updates here. It is a half-mile long, a little over half a mile long, and it's very tricky, to say the least. It may look simple, but I mean, the drivers would certainly tell you that this is not an easy track to go around.
Yeah, exactly that. The concrete surface not forgiving at all, and we do have the multiple tiers of banking here, so we have been seeing this track be a lot more bottom happy, but I can even see the groove here in the distance. You can see the rubber line that went down the track. It looks like the top groove may be coming in, so we may have some side-by-side multi-groove action, which we did not see Sunday night in the next-gen cars. They were wrapped right around the bottom of the circuit. Again, today's race brought to you by Terry Brooks, the number 23 car. He is qualified 18th on the board, but and let's take a look at our point standings. We're 3 races in, and Alan Kunman is our points leader by 5 points over Tyler Merritt, Brad Crest, Chad Winstead, and Steve McClendon, our back-to-back Cup Series champion. As you can see, only 26 points, Patrick, separating the top 10 early in the season, so still a lot of opportunities to make some big swings up or down, depending how your race goes.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, consistency is going to be what wins you that championship, but as we've said before, the only predictable thing about racing is that we can expect the unexpected. It's unpredictable by nature, and it really just takes one race to swing the pendulum of championship momentum. But, I mean, you can win one race and have a pretty rough rest of the season, and you're not going to win that championship compared to somebody who is doing consistently well across the board. So we're only 3 rounds into this championship, but I really don't think this championship is going to wrap up until probably the last 2 or 3 races, if even.
And of course, in the real world with the NASCAR realm, playoffs versus a full series schedule. Talk to Mark Martin. That is a big point of contention here in this ARCA series. We will be doing a full season schedule. We will not be having any playoff structure. So as you said, having bad runs or even missing a race will be more catastrophic than normal. Well, the lights have turned on here. We have used our time machine to elapse about 3 hours And let's head down trackside, give you that PTR TV starting lineup here from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Starting today's race off from the front row is going to be Adam Bossy in that 83 Cletus McFarland Mobile. We got Brad Kress to his outside. P2 finds Brad Slaughter and Timothy O'Connor going to be rolling off in fourth. Fifth is Kyle Gresh with Alan Kunman going to be in the sixth spot. Al Corey in seventh. Justin Baxter in the eighth position. Rolling off in ninth finds Ryan Corgi Hyatt and Curtis Mitchell in 10th there, Patrick.
And then taking a look at the next 10 on the grid, we have Donna Ritstow in the Chevrolet, followed by Elton Wu. And then going down to the next row, it is Angel Resendez, which I might have mispronounced. I do apologize. But then we have Caleb Brown just directly next to him in row 7. Coming down to row 8 is Dylan Freeman and Matt Harmon. Taking up the next row, we have Adam Shaw and Terry Brooks going ahead. 2 Chevrolets on that 9th row. And then on row 10, it is Mark Herzog in that very colorful Toyota. And then Tyler Rulis in P20.
I don't think anyone has ever corrected us on how to say his name because we all say it differently. And he's in chat. Tell us how to say your name, Tyler, unless you like us butchering it every time. We got Jason Menson in 21st, Matt Epting in 22nd. 23rd finds James Honeycutt with Ryan Bates in 24th. John Crutchley-Nodge is in 25th. Mark Jarrell in 26th. 27th finds Alex Squire, Nicholas Deal 28th, and then the final row of drivers is going to be Ward Fisher and John Barton. Before anybody corrects me in Discord after the race or even in chat, I know that some of those driver images, car images weren't accurate. An overlay refresh had to be done because iRacing graphics settings reset on me. Gotta love post-build situations. But our race details here today, again, from Bristol, 175 laps, and unlike the Cup Series, we will not have a stage interruption. The only yellow flags will be for cause, 1 set of tires, again, unlike the 3 we had Sunday night. And again, unlike Sunday night, we have a full set of fuel, a full fuel load here, Patrick. So mathematically, you probably can run this whole race on 1 tank, but I highly doubt anyone's going to do that.
I mean, especially because, as nice as it would be to not see any cautions, we're definitely just going to at least see a handful of cautions here. So that could really mess up the pit strategy coming into this race here. Like we said earlier, Bristol is not an easy track to navigate. So inevitably, the concrete is going to mess somebody up, and someone's going to end up facing the wrong direction here on the track.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can evade that happening too catastrophically. The air temp here is 67, track temp 68, so a fair amount of grip will be offered here in the concrete. 8:30 virtual time. Of course, they practiced in the day, racing at night. NASCAR drivers always love that because things change, and everything doesn't always get cooler when the sun goes down. Everything gets hotter when the sun goes down. Talk to Kenny Chesney. That's the intensity that happens here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. But Adam Bossy is going to get this thing down. The Twitch Mustang is going to stream this race off from P1, entering the start zone. Barney has the flag in hand, and he's waving it, and we're short track racing from Tennessee.
Indeed, we are going to go ahead and get racing here. The number 9 Flow Racing Mustang already trying to get a move done around the outside, and it looks like he does have it now. That is Brad Kress in that number 9. We're getting an early move done here to really set the tempo of this 175 lap race as we just start lap 2. Everything looks really good here so far, and that Flow Racing machine he's in the flow right now. He is zooming around this track.
Yes, he is. That Flow Racing car, Brad Kress, someone who is, in my experience, from what I remember, has always been pretty good there on the short tracks. So we'll see if he continues that pace on. Al Corey did let us know that tire wear will certainly come into play here as this race continues. That right front specifically, got to watch out for that, depending how aggressive these guys are. 58 of Justin Baxter running that middle groove, and looked like that is actually working. We didn't see it on Sunday night, but looks like as we're on board with Baxter, getting some momentum built up, and look at him looking to the outside of Kyle Gresh. So it looks like we will have some multi-groove Bristol going on here tonight.
Indeed, and that's the beauty of this track, is that there's a lot of different lines that you could take, as we see the number 58 going on a very high line here, trying to go ahead and confirm that pass, and he's already even looking at the number 88 of Jeff Slaughter here, trying to make moves on this Bristol Speedway. He's got good runs. He's got to keep it consistent, though. Running the high line has been working out really well for him, but if he gets too high, he can fly too close to the sun and end up colliding and losing that progress, as he's looking for a third move here in quick succession, chasing down the number 83 Twitch Mustang of Adam Bossi here.
Yep, trying to close in, but a little bit further back, we have a good battle. Curtis Mitchell to the outside of Al Corey. Al Corey washes up off the bottom of the track. That opens up the door for Hyatt in the number 7 car, and then to the outside of him is the Polaroid. Take a picture of Caleb Brown. They are 2 by 2 rather, 3 rows deep. Very similar to pace lap formation, as Hyatt had a very interesting entry into turn number 3, washed him up the track. It cleared him for the position. Now looking to the outside of Al Corey as a battle for the lead. Here we go. Justin Baxter has taken the lead in super quick fashion.
I knew we were saying that Brad Kress was in the flow state, but I think Justin Baxter stole his flow, just like he stole the position around the outside here. That is a very risky maneuver, but the risk paid off here, and he's got a good gap so far. Just about 3.5 tenths of a second as we drop back down here to watch this battle going on between Al Corey. He's trying to keep that position, but Terry Brooks just a bit too quick for him here in this stage of the race.
Yeah, Terry Brooks got our race sponsor here today, and that Cultured Designs automobile. Cultured Designs, well, again, they are a company out of Concord, North Carolina, and they do low-maintenance architectural details that combine timeless beauty with long-lasting durability for trim moldings, columns to custom accents. They craft products that look like wood but resist moisture, insects, and rot. You can check them out in the link in the description, and the phone number is there if you're looking for some work done in that area. Terry Brooks in the 12th spot. Battle going on for second right now as Brad Kress came out firing but fallen through the field here 15 laps in.
Indeed, he had a very good pace early on here, but he must have just done something incorrect, because he is now falling bit by bit, losing ground here as Adam Boss has regained a position, and a lot of the positions that Brad Kress gained early on have just kind of fallen away. He is now looking like he's about to lose potentially even more positions. Most current is, well, I was going to say it was Jeff Slaughter, but him and Alan Goodman are trading positions back and forth. Timothy O'Connor also trading positions here as they go 2 wide here around Bristol.
2 wide, Jeff Slaughter there in the 88. For some reason, a quick glance, I know that's like a, kind of looks like a Dale Senior Wrangler-esque car there, but it has Budweiser. For some reason, I thought I saw Savannah Bananas on the hood from a distance, but that is a cannabis company. It is not quite Savannah Bananas. Gotta get myself to one of those games. They just played at Fenway not too long ago. But who is that to the inside? That's Alan Cudman. Again, I think he was the points leader, if I was not mistaken. Looking to the inside of Kress, but that outside lane, even though Kress is maybe losing a little bit of his muster, that outside lane starting to come more in. You know, this is what we're used to at Bristol. You're kind of eternally locked side by side. The shorter distance versus the higher momentum from the outside.
Indeed, and you have to be laser focused, because one lapse of that focus can put you into the wall, into the car next to you, and ultimately it can just ruin your race as well as a bunch of other people's races. So you got to stay lasered focused on a track here like Bristol, where you are consistently side by side with one of your contenders pretty much constantly here, as the number 27 of Kyle Greck is going to be under pressure from the 7 of Ryan Hyatt. Here we are on lap 23 out of 175 here, riding on board now with Kyle, as he's got a very nice front row view of this battle happening just up ahead between Caleb Brown and Curtis Mitchell.
Down 5 spots, Kyle Gresh led 120 plus laps there on Sunday night out of the 200. That was the MBZ 200. You can check back our channel to find that broadcast in the archive, but it just did not go for him. Ty Bass ended up getting the win at the very end As, no, we're going around. O'Connor was going for second, and he finds himself backwards on the front straightaway.
Yeah, I just got that 119 a bit unsettled there, bringing out our first caution of the evening. We'll get another look now with our replay here. He's going around the outside of that 83, and just touched a wall, and then wasn't too many other places he can go.
Yep, went around there on the straightaway, and unfortunately, for O'Connor, back to 22nd. Now they do get the the backup car, whichever verbiage you want to use for it. They do get a backup car, but again, not always something that you want to use early in the race. You never know what's going to happen later. And to the point earlier that we were told, remember, you only get one set of tires. Now, Adam Boss coming into the pits. Be interesting to see if you see a jack go up on that car, or if it's just going to be fuel only. Again, only one set of tires, and I'd be hard-pressed to want to burn it this early.
Yeah, I mean, resource management is such an important skill, regardless of what form of racing that you partake in. Whether it's NASCAR, Formula One, World Endurance, Rally, you always got to manage your fuel and your tires. And burning up that next set of tires early on is a bit of a risky.
He may have sped. He must have, because he's 35 seconds in. He may actually, if he got a speeding penalty, there's a genuine possibility he may actually end up going a lap down.
Which is basically probably worst case scenario, just about, aside from having a DNF here. I mean, being a lap down around a track that can be tricky to pass on, like Bristol, yeah, it's just not ideal.
He did stay on the lead lap, albeit with a 45-second stop, rather a 31-second stop. So that's actually an interesting amount of time, because a pit penalty would have been 35 seconds. So not sure if there was damage, or, I mean, we could have also give the other potential option there, Patrick. Sometimes drivers will come into the pits because they gotta go visit the little boys' room. So we don't know, but all we do know is Adam Bossy is gonna have to work his way through the field.
Indeed. Wow. The other things may not be our business, but what we do know for a fact is that trying to claw through this field is a task much easier said than done here. He's gonna have a tough time. It is possible. I mean, it's never over until the checkered flag is waved by Barney. But we are going to go ahead and get back racing here very, very soon.
Yep, coming down the back straightaway here for our first restart of the day. We ended up going 30 laps to get our first caution, and 145 laps to go. If this goes green, this is only a half-hour race, about 36 minutes long. So we'll see what happens. But Justin Baxter on the front row into the restart zone, gets himself on the throttle and gets himself the jump. The outside car very much detrimented here at Bristol on these restarts, but Crest gets himself back in the line and actually staying pretty close to him.
Indeed, maybe we'll see a bit of that flow state that he was in earlier. He needs to get back into the flow that he had at the early stages of the race if he wants to retake the lead here. He's looking potentially for any kind of gap that he can make a move through here. He is within the slipstream of that number 58 just up ahead, as the number 88 is now about to go ahead and do battle with Kyle Greck here, trying to go ahead and keep that position. But that 88 of Jeff is just too quick for now. But these two are going to be trading positions back and forth, trading blows for these positions like prime boxers.
Actually, it was the inverse there, Patrick, because the 88 was actually bogged down on the inside. Gresh rocked the outside. There goes the 316. This is kind of the inverse of what you see at a plate track, where hung out to dry. He is hung out on the what is now less desired groove on the inside of the track. See somebody slow. That's Tyler Rulis there to the inside. But as now we have a heat cycle on the tires, the temperature, the build up, the grip level starting to go down. That outside lane starting to become more and more advantageous here. And as drivers get stuck to the inside, they're seeming to lose their pace.
Indeed, and we can even see it now, because after falling back a bit earlier on, we do see that some drivers are starting to make a few moves through the field. Curtis Mitchell on that outside line on the quicker groove at the moment. He does get the pass done onto the number 27 as Curtis Mitchell now looks ahead to Caleb Brown, but he can't count out Kyle yet because Kyle could have a good run and get a pass, but it looks like he's more likely to fall into the clutches of the race sponsor, Toby Brooks, and that number 23 is a bit of a wall tap there from the 27.
Yeah, double wall tap there that we saw. Here comes some side-by-side, a few car lengths back as you see the live, the updated lap times on the screen. You can see how much faster those top two are at present, but side-by-side, Al Corey to the inside, Slaughter to the outside. In this scenario, I don't know who the passer and the passee is, but I have a vibe that it's Al Corey trying to get by, but again, he is detrimented by that inside lane, just can't get the bite, needs that extra banking, needs that extra momentum, and he's going to have to put more wheel into the car to make it happen.
Yeah, he's got to go in, and sometimes repetition does sometimes work, but if it just doesn't work enough, sometimes you just got to go ahead and experiment a little bit. But granted, around such a short track like Bristol, the room to experiment is few and far between. So we'll see how these drivers go ahead and navigate the rest of the laps here as the number 92 on the high line as we now transfer back to a battle for P2. It is going to be a tough one here between these drivers trying to make these positions. But, I mean, it's going to be much easier said than done for these drivers as they go ahead and make their way through. Actually, correction, that is a battle for P4 as Curtis Mitchell does temporarily get that pass, trying to hook it on the inside. The outside is quicker, but he still managed to hold on to that position, even if for only a few moments.
Yeah, going through 3 and 4 right there. Still side by side. Harmon to the outside. Mitchell to the inside. And right behind that, Caleb Brown is like, where do I go? Where do I go? You can see the 316 to the inside struggling, washing up the track. Balls back in line. Now Caleb Brown still dedicated to that yellow line. He is next trying to figure something out, but going back up to the battle for the lead. Remember, Brad Kress had the lead and then drop back, and we saw Baxter shoot out of a cannon. Well, that cannon is on its kind of retraction back to the base here, because now here comes Brad going for the lead down to the inside, down the back straightaway. Let's see if he dives it into 3. He does. Enough to clear is the question. No, Baxter's going to keep fighting it.
Yeah, they're now side by side on the start of lap 47. We know the higher groove is the quicker groove at the moment. So Justin Baxter not giving up yet, trying to make things work. But you got to give Brad Kress a ton of credit. He's trying to make the inside line work. It worked for a little bit, but at the end, he's still in P2. But I mean, they have a pretty good gap to the cars behind. It's about 2 seconds of a gap between the leader and P3 at the moment. So right now, Brad Kress can really just focus on trying to get this move done on to Justin Baxter. No real pressure from behind here at lap 50 of this race here in Bristol.
Yeah, I'm still interested by the fact that nobody's using the wall line yet. No, I'm looking here and I'm trying to see if it's a kind of a baked-in texture or if it's actually rubber, but right up by the fence, you can see it darker up there, and that darker groove usually intends that, implies there's rubber up there. The drivers maybe were using it in practice. The Bristol racetrack does have the most amount of grip right up by the wall, and we've seen guys rimride this place for years. But I'm just thinking there's not enough grip up there. They're using the second lane, but you gotta do what they're not doing. So maybe we'll see that happen later in the event. But here comes the battle for, it is 4th, Mitchell and Brown still going at it. And then just behind that, Gresh and Terry Brooks driving through the field. He's up to 6. That's a quiet progression.
Indeed. I mean, started 18th. I mean, up 12 positions. That's impressive by anybody's standards. The race sponsor doing a fantastic job here in that number 23. He's made up so many positions. It's actually really impressive. But I don't think he's going to be satisfied with just sitting at P6. If he's got the opportunity, he's going to chase down Caleb Brown and Curtis Mitchell to try to get even more positions. Speaking of positions, Brad Kress is going to go and try to hook the inside line. He's got the lead now as they start to pass lap traffic here on lap 56 of 175. after trying consistently, the Flow Racing number 9 of Brad Crest does take the lead of this race.
And there goes a pretty decent wall contact there for Justin Baxter. We'll see if Brad Crest drives off into the metaphorical moonset here, but let's take a look at some other... Never mind, we are, as soon as I say that, we are under caution, and Avril Lavigne, someone took that album and threw it into the concrete wall. And CDs don't like that, surprisingly.
I don't like where he's ended up parked. Oh yeah, he just got dumped.
Just like Taylor Swift prior to all of her prior old relationships. Who is the problem? I don't know if it was, is it me? Hi, am I the problem? Is it me? It's not me, it may be John Barton.
Oh, yeah.
StupidTrucking.com. I feel like there's a joke ready to be set up there, but I'm not willing to make it.
Maybe that number 68 is just saying that there's a better music artist and get that trash away from me. Maybe that's his perspective. I don't know. That's not a personal opinion. I will state that right now. I know Brad and I, with Elbows Out Racing, have had some pretty hot takes when it comes to music, but yeah, I mean that was an unfortunate incident to say the least.
Absolutely. Now we are at a very interesting point here in the race where if you put a set of tires on, actually we didn't really look too much at the tire numbers, but who is that? Oh, that's Mitchell. So this is an interesting situation, and the double pit configuration here at Bristol. He essentially has to wait for the field to pass by for the pits the pit exit to show as being open. There's two configurations here at Bristol. There's one configuration where you can essentially run 7/8 of the track as a pit road, so it's one continuous pit. Or you can do what we're doing here today, which is the old 1990, probably upward to 2002 version of this track, where each pit is its own individual entity. So there are some oddities to that. Drivers who qualified 22nd on back, they are back there on that backstretch pits, and there is kind of a weird anomaly of rules that goes along with that.
Indeed. I mean, every racetrack with its own unique perks when it comes to pits, especially when it comes to ovals. They have a very unique pit structure compared to other road courses, like other road courses that they use in NASCAR, like Watkins Glen and a few other circuits across the U.S. And even Mexico. They went to Mexico. The circuit that was actually just added to iRacing in the most previous update. So, I mean, every circuit has its own quirks, even down to the pit lanes.
Yep, that Mexico track actually has an oval in it too. Interestingly enough, we got a new version of Sonoma here in the service. They put an oval on Sonoma. So we're getting ovals all over the place here, but we're on an oval here today, and we got 114 more laps to do it. We'll see how the pit cycles work out. Will we go green? Will we wreck more? We'll find out together. Back to green flag racing. Big jump goes to the 9. And Alan Kunman, he's putting his hat in the mix here. Highest he's been all day.
Alan Kunman has just been a consistently quick force here at Triple Bypass Racing. Pretty much, even if you forget about him for a quick second, he is just going to show up and exist and pretty much just be right in the mirrors of anybody running in that top 3. Now he's in the mirrors of Justin Baxter, trying to go ahead and get some positions here as we see the number 57 of Mark Herzog going around town, trying to keep that position away from Al Corey, without Corey gaining a little bit here, but not enough to even shake for a move onto the 57.
Yeah, but that 57 In-N-Out Burger car, Al Corey working himself through the field, and just behind that we get the Minute Maid Lemonade Mobile of Elton Woo the Wooster. He is in the 8th spot, and just behind that again, Kyle Gresh. I'm very surprised. Someone who dominated in next gen, maybe he just doesn't have the practice in the ARCA car, but it's crazy to dominate one car and then come here in the same track in a different car and just kind of be an average. I mean, every car is a little bit different, but he just doesn't have that next gen pace here in this ARCA ride.
Yeah, the ARCA cars and the next-gen cars, I mean, you can pretty much hop into almost any car, and there's a lot of quirks that you'll have to kind of deal with, even in cars that do similar types of racing. I mean, I know you can speak from your experience. ARCA cars, the Truck Series cars, the next-gen NASCARs, even some classic NASCARs, as we see a few wall tabs there just right there in the back. But each car has its own strengths and weaknesses, and they all have their own little quirks that you kind of have to adjust to.
Absolutely. Some cars you can kind of mat it and go with less power, and of course those Gen 4s that were released not too long ago, they have all that power and not as much aero grip, so you do have to kind of pedal those and use a lot more manual effort to get those around the track here at Bristol. It is certainly a work to be done. But let's go back further in the field. Some drivers we haven't shown on air: Adam Shaw, Jason Benson. There's Bossy in the Twitch car. He's working himself through. He is in the 14th spot. Very slow progression. Who is that down to the flat? That's Adam Shaw, the Nicorette Jeff Gordon car. That car died at Las Vegas in 2007. But currently not doing too well in 21st spot. But all the while, Brad Kress, he obviously saved the tires, and he's obviously utilizing them at the right time, because he has pulled up to about 6/10 over Baxter.
Indeed. I mean, he's had really good pace here all night. I mean, we saw him just making moves in the early stage of the race here in the first opening laps. And even here on lap 73, he's on the same set of tires that he started off with. And I mean, we know the front right was going to go in and take a beating here at Bristol, but I mean, if you look at Brad Kress's car, you certainly wouldn't think that. You would think those tires are pretty much still factory new with how much grip he's getting around these corners.
Yeah, right now, and just as a perspective, because it'll help us, on the next caution flag. Brad Kress qualified his best lap of the race, basically 15 flat. We've gone down roughly half a second in this effort. And again, we have a full fuel load. We weren't exactly privy to anything specific, regarding the analytics of the race, but I'm going to go on a gather here that probably 140 is probably 140 to 150 is probably a full fuel run. I don't know if the tires can go that far. We've just had some caution, so maybe 140 might turn into 155 with the caution laps, but I'll be interested what's going to happen with the pit cycle. You don't want to pit under green here at Bristol, a track with this short of lap times, Patrick, and this slow of a pit lane. It's basically a guaranteed 3 laps down to pit here under green. So these guys are almost hoping for another caution to get that done under the yellow.
Indeed, and to add insult to injury, while you're 3 laps down, you're pretty much right in the thick of traffic, and it's like trying to get through I-95 during rush hour. You are not moving anywhere fast. So you really these drivers are, like you said, waiting for that safety car to come out, the full course caution. I mean, as fans, we really don't want to see another caution, but the drivers who want to make a good pit stop and lose as little time as humanly possible, a safety car is just ideal for them.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to the real world race where, of course, we had the tire oddities that happen here at Bristol, and the next gen car led to the craziness where pit stops had to happen every 50 or so laps, and drivers had to pit, and they went 3 laps down, and then the caution came out 5 laps later, and you can get a lap back on a free pass, maybe getting 2 back, but and even 2 laps down is very difficult to get, let alone getting 3. So we don't know. Maybe they can make it to the end. We haven't been told otherwise, so we're kind of guessing along for the ride as you. But this is the closest battle on the track. Ristow, we got James Honeycutt to the outside, Adam Boss again. This just shows a slow progression through the field. We don't know why his pit stop was so long. Again, you can see 31 seconds, but he was in second or third, and he is just stuck back there in the mid-teens.
He had a really strong qualifying as well, so this has really just not been turning out to be the race for that number 83. He led this race when we started, as we have cars going 3 wide just ahead of the 83. The Chicago Bears, number 18, being the car on the far outside. But now look at this. It is Mark Herzog trying to battle out for P4. And I know we haven't really talked about it a lot here, but Justin Baxter, his pace just really hasn't been the same as it was in the opening stages of this race.
Yeah, Al Corey, you can see he is working his way by right now. They're side by side. In fact, not, because Al Corey has taken that position over. So, again, he shot out of a cannon. We saw him not just shoot out of a cannon there, Patrick. He was 3-4 tenths off, and I'm not watching it. I'm looking at other things on the racetrack, and I saw my timing screen flash, and like, how did he gain so fast? Like, he gave everything that car had. And now he's just paying the ultimate price for it. He is waiting for the caution flag. He's already lost 3 seconds. At the rate he's going, his last lap was 4 tenths slower than the race leader.
That just goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Corey. Talking about that management. You could burn up your tires, and it's just going to really hurt you. Management is going to be key here around Bristol, especially trying to take care of that front right tire. I think that's what Brad Kress did, and he's been doing fantastic. The only car even remotely of any kind of concern to him is Caleb Brown in that number 17, as we continue to watch this battle between Justin Baxter and Nicholas Deal. Now jumping back up to the front, the Polaroid number 17 of Caleb Brown, still trying to put pressure on the Brad Kress. But you've got to wonder, is it just the fact that Brad Kress just has that tire advantage here as we get closer to lap 100?
Now, we are seeing some pit stops right now. This is Donald Risteau. He was in the teens or so. He has found himself in the pit. Something happened at some point. Oh no, the Bears, that's Epting. Something happened with the Bears back there, and that is really getting everyone stacked up there. That's incorporating third place, our race sponsor, of Caleb Brown. Now, something happened to Matt Harmon at some point. He must have pitted because he was up there. But here comes Al Corey trying to, find the optimistic way to get by. But this is an absolute cluster, and Epting into the wall again, staring these guys.
I mean, yeah, you're definitely giving quite a few drivers a code brown here. We got cars all over the circuit right now. I mean, for these drivers who are waiting for the caution to come out and just waiting for the opportunity to pit. Some of them are just kind of metaphorically, obviously. Ooh, yeah, some contact there just in the back. The number 48 having quite a few moments with the wall there.
Keep out of the wall. This is the problem. And Epting just completely butchered the corner. He must, I don't know if he's bent his suspension, his toe is out, but that is something that happens. And I know you see it on the road side of things there too, Patrick, where sometimes lappers will try so hard to get out of the way. Like they're trying, they don't want to affect the race. They try so hard to be out of the way, but that actually sometimes puts them more in the way and in a more dangerous position.
Yeah, because I mean, there's some tracks that are just extremely narrow that are used for endurance racing. I mean, there's some tracks that are pretty wide, like Interlagos in Brazil. Silverstone can also be a pretty wide track as well. But you also have tracks that are just incredibly narrow, like Road Atlanta, like Long Beach. I know they don't use it for endurance racing, which is a blessing, but Monaco's another example. Some tracks you can't really pass anyone, and if you're one of those cars being lapped, you really can't give them any room because there's no room for them to give.
Yeah, exactly. So it just, whoa, there is Scooby-Doo into the wall. That was Angel Resendez there, hard into the wall, but it's better just to be predictable. It's better just to run the racing line and just do it smoothly than it would be, again, just to run erratically, trying to stay up against the wall. But here we go back to the race lead. Caleb Brown right to the back bumper as I'm calling the Savannah Bananas. It's not the Savannah Bananas. It is it Savannah Bananas? What is it? Sling. I don't know what it is. I'm just calling it Savannah Bananas car because I don't know what it is. It's Savannah Bananas car. That's Tyler Willis. He was into the wall there as the leaders were getting by. But Kress and Brown going for it, and the number one question that we have is 105 laps in. Can they make it to the end? We do not know.
I think, I mean, everything's within the realm of possibility here tonight, but I am leaning more in the direction of they're not going to be able to make it to the end. I think they're going to have to at least swap tires. I think on fuel they could be good.
Here comes Nicholas Steele. He came in out of about 7th spot.
Yeah, so I really doubt that they're going to be able to get to the end on this tire.
So who does this put in an advantageous position potentially? We're going to pull up the stints on our ticker here once it updates here. And Curtis Mitchell pit 47 laps ago. You got Jeff Slaughter. He pitted 48 laps ago, only for 3 seconds though. So that was a very quick top off. As did Mitchell, only had a 6-second stop. O'Connor had about a 5-second stop. Ryan Hyatt, I don't know. He didn't service his car on that pit stop 79 laps ago. So I'd say the first person that I'd have comfort in being able to make the end of the race is Slaughter in that number 88. And anybody who pits now, are you able to take tires down, Patrick? Is it worth it to take tires knowing that it's going to put you even more laps down?
It's always a gamble when it comes to racing this tight together, doesn't it, Corey? It's always a strategy gamble at these types of circuits because, I mean, it's pretty much you just got to pick your poison. Either you're going to lose time on track because your tire grip is fading away, or you lose time in the pits because you're getting a fresh set of rubber. You can make up the time a bit later potentially, but once again, if you get stuck in traffic and you can't really get around, then you're just really stuck. So, I mean, sometimes you want to go for the undercut, try to go to get those tires quicker. Other times you want to just try to go for the overcut and play chicken with your rival.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've been in the spot. Oh, we got Baxter, we got Hyatt dooring each other off of 4 and into turns 1 and 2. But when you have these caution-ridden races here on Oval there, Patrick, you wonder at what point is it going to clean up? Because most of the time, it does. Most of the time, not all, but most of the time it'll eventually clean up. And if you need to make a pit stop, you keep thinking to yourself, all right, I'll pit on the next caution. Now the next caution. Now the next caution. Eventually, you're going to run to a spot where you're not going to get that caution. So it's almost better to sometimes just bite the bullet and know that you're all set and kind of gambling that something may or may not actually happen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because it's kind of like just, if you have like that homework assignment, you just keep procrastinating on. You keep procrastinating day in, day out, and then suddenly it gets to the night before your assignment is due, and then something goes wrong, like your system crashes, or something happens where you're just not going to be able to maximize, or you're not going to be able to just get it done correctly. So it's always a tricky one, and like we said, it is a gamble. Yes, it's really tricky. It's a really tricky position to be in, especially if you're Brad Kress or Caleb Brown.
Now, the other side of the spectrum is if they do get that caution, the drivers who have already pitted, some of them have already taken the tires. Now, Slaughter, he did not take tires to my knowledge, and Curtis Mitchell didn't take tires to my knowledge. So they're in the best spot either way because they technically can probably make the rest of the race if we don't wreck, which we almost just did. But the guys who pitted already and took their tires, they're going to be multiple laps down. If we get a caution, they're still going to be multiple laps down, and they only have old tires for the rest of the race. So the strategy call in these one set of tire only races is just super, super difficult. And again, it's almost like you're at the roulette table and you're just waiting to roll that blackjack. Or you don't roll blackjack, you can't roll cards. You're waiting to draw a blackjack, and sometimes you just always get 2 kings.
You can roll blackjack if you fold the card neatly enough into a nice ball. But yeah, typically you're not supposed to. If anyone has tried that at a casino, let me know how that went.
Let me kick a home run through the uprights too while I'm at it.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's pretty much you got to really pick your poison when it comes to these kind of situations. We see a few cars going in and pitting in, and actually, both of the drivers fighting for the lead of this race, Brad Kress and Caleb Brown, have called it. They've called it. They're coming into the pits to get some fresh rubber.
Indeed, here saw the left sides go up. And here comes Brad Kress out of the pits. Took a 14-second stop. So now let's see where he scores right now. 50 laps to go. Let's see where he scores. He actually, I know we said 3 laps down. Significantly less than that. Now this is much to my surprise. The pit lane delta time is only 28 seconds. So that's only about 2 laps. So I don't know where my math went, where I thought it was like 3 laps. So he's 1 lap down in relation to Terry Brooks. He's running about a 1.5 seconds faster a lap. And I mean, this is now we're talking about a math game. 1.5 seconds a lap. He probably needs to gain about 25 combined seconds. Yeah, that's math for you that I don't want to do. But Terry Brooks and Mark Herzog, top 2, they are going to need to pit. The only one the next in question is going to be Slaughter. And then, as we've seen right here, all those lower numbers, those are the ones that we think may be able to make it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out, because once again, anything can happen. Somebody can get a little too friendly with the wall, bring out a caution, and then that really just shakes up the entire dynamic of the race here, as we are on lap 131 out of 175. Still a good amount of racing left to go. But some of these drivers who are staying out, unlike the number 23 of Terry Brooks coming on into the pits, sometimes you really got to worry about just burning that midnight oil with these current set of tires, because ultimately you're going to start dropping back from cars who have a lot more grip than you.
Now, again, what I was saying earlier, imagine if a caution comes out like right now. Herzog has he'll have fresher tires than anybody else in the race and locks half the field a lap down. That's the ideal situation. Unfortunately, the ideal is not going to come to fruition. And here comes Herzog to the attention of his crew. So now we're at the point where we really need to pay attention to the matter at hand right now, where every yellow car, I'm calling it the Savannah Bananas car. This is a weed car. This is a weed and beer car. So for some people, that's your best day in life. But for Jeff Slaughter, it'll be his best day in life if this works out the way he needs it to. He's leading the race. He has more fuel than the guys who have stayed out the whole time, but less fuel than the guys who obviously have pitted with worse tires. Can he stay ahead of Brad Kress, who is still 1 lap down? Brad Kress, where is he on the racetrack now? Brad Kress, let's get a relation right here as to where everybody is. Brad Kress is at the start-finish right now. Jeff Slaughter is on the backstretch. So that's about 1.5 laps down.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because I mean, either way, whether Jeff Slaughter succeeds or doesn't, he's still going to have to try and put up the drive of his life. Actually, just because he is in such a weird predicament.
Actually, Nicholas Deal pitted 31 laps ago. 4 tires, so he has fresher tires than Brad Kress. And you can see there, Brad Kress is the 2nd car in the shot. That's Adam Bossy, who may or may not be able to make it. He's kind of in one of those weird predicaments. But actually, Nicholas Deal is the first guy on the seat right now to win this race on the pit stop strategy. So he's, again, let's just another little relation check right here. He's at start-finish now. All right, here we go. That's actually Slaughter right in front of him. So this is exactly 1 lap down. Can Nicholas Deal and or Brad Kress completely unlap themselves and drive around the entire circuit in mathematics 34 laps of Bristol? I think yes, actually.
I mean, considering how easy he was able to get around Jeff Slaughter, I think it's more than possible. He's got the pace, he's got the grip. It just matters if he can utilize it and maximize the potential in that car. He's going to give it the old college try. And I mean, honestly, that's his best bet. He needs to try to unlap himself and maybe, just maybe, hope there could be an incident here as we see
Almost was.
the former race leaders of Brad Kress and Caleb Brown using that quicker tire just with more grip around the outside. Not really much of a challenge for these two.
Oh, Savannah Bananas in the wall. Tyler Raylis there. He is very off pace. He ran a 17. He almost ran a second and a half off the lead pace last time by. But here comes Adam Bossy. This is a battle for the race lead. Adam Bossy pitted 117 laps ago. That would be about 140 to the end. That's probably right at the end of what my brain says is feasible. But let's just see what happens here. Deal has already gained 3 seconds since he has passed Jeff Slaughter. So 3 seconds in 5 laps. If that pace continues, absolutely he's going to get there. As here comes Alan Kunman. All these drivers unlapping themselves right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Jeff Slaughter played this correctly. I think he's really going to be in a trouble as Adam Bossy is right behind him now. Less than a tenth and a half. Trying to go to get a move. The car in front does tap the wall a bit there. We see the Twitch Mustang going on the inside line, trying to make the move stick, and he gets the move done and dusted. He is in the lead of the race for now. That is a good pass for the number 83, but Jeff Slaughter's car just does not have the pace that it needs to if he wants to have any hope of winning this race here at Bristol.
Yeah, just keep an eye on those gaps on the left side of your screen right now. And actually, Brad Kress did get by Nicholas Deal. Not sure what the deal was, Waka Waka. But obviously something happened to Nicholas because he has since lost a multitude of positions. Caleb Brown got by and Curtis Mitchell got by. But Brad Kress 8 seconds back. So absolutely, the only saving grace for Bossy or Slaughter now is a caution to come out right now where they can put those fresh tires on and absolutely obliterate the rest of the drivers. But if they don't get that, the fresh tires will certainly persevere here. But again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV. The Cultured Designs 175 Triple Bypass ARCA Series. If you haven't liked and subscribed again, please do that for us. It's been a great race. Myself, Corey Silva, Patrick Coleman covering this action. Would you have thought you would have had a green flag tire pit fuel strategy race here at Bristol tonight? Is that what you signed up for, Patrick?
I was honestly kind of expecting like what we had on Sunday, just like 14 cautions. Maybe not that many, maybe at least more like about 8 or 9, but I mean the fact that we had like only a handful.
No!
And
Commentator's curse.
Well, that is music to the ears of Adam Bossy and Jeff Slaughter as we get that PTR TV instant
42
replay.
Into the 48. It's Crutchley into Naj.
And that's his race done in an instant.
Now this is the beauty of this for you Bossy and Slaughter fans is that there's enough lap time left. Enough time left where they can put those tires on and basically drive through the field. I would be very hard pressed if they are not able to do so. So here comes Bossy in. Slaughter. Oh, I don't know if where did he start? Major question mark right now because he started and so this means he started on the front stretch. Wait, where are we on the track? Sometimes Bristol looks so similar, I forget where I am on the track half the time. Oh, so Slaughter stayed out. I wonder, did he accidentally take his tires much earlier in the race? Because otherwise, why would he not be taking them right now? But either way, Adam Bossy is going to be in 8th right now with probably 17 laps to go. That should be plenty of time in my opinion because everybody in front of him is going to have 30 plus laps on their tires. So I would think he can floor himself through the field. But this is also where we're more likely to have more and more cautions as well.
Indeed, it just takes one slight slip, one slight lapse of concentration for a driver just to kind of mess up the restart and bring out yet another caution, which, pun entirely intended, throws even more caution to the wind here at this race. I mean, you only got 18 laps to go. It'll be less when we go in and get started back with racing. I mean, like we said a dozen times, this is a very short track, barely over half a mile in diameter. It is, I mean, that time is going to just rapidly tick down as we're in the closing stages of this race.
We're going to 1 to green right now, and I mean, Slaughter must have accidentally or intentionally changed his tires earlier in the race, because otherwise there would have been no reason for him not to change them at that opportunity. So this is going to really put a difficult situation into things right now, because he is on nearly 100 lap old tires, and he is the control car on the restart here. Brad Kress can't get too good of a start because he doesn't want to get a penalty, but he needs to get a good enough start to where no drivers in row number 2 can take advantage of that. But entering the Echo Park restart zone on the loud pedal is Slaughter. Gets himself in his ideal line, but watch these fresh tires do their work. The fresher tires, Brad Kress and Caleb Brown try to take advantage of it. Looks like the 9 maybe get boxed in. Here comes Caleb Brown to the inside, but now they're both going to get boxed in by Slaughter.
Indeed, and Brad Kress is the beneficiary that he gets around the outside, gets the move done and dusted. Building a bit of a gap there to Caleb Brown, but then we have the Twitch Mustang of Adam Bossy going in, and we see there's another caution that came out here with 15 to go.
Well, Waltrip, that's his 2001 scheme, and he's racing like he was in 2001 outside of the first race of the season. They're going around. Oh, that's off of the 48. Oh, that was a bad right-hand hook into the fence.
Ouch. That's going to leave a mark in the morning.
I can see contact with the 48, and once that thing bit to the right, it bit to the right. And again, we'll go under caution. Brad Kress got the lead, which is important for him. And I'll actually say the best thing that can happen for Caleb Brown actually happened right there, Patrick, because Caleb Brown starts in 3rd. He's going to start directly behind the 9 car. And we know here at Bristol, the outside lane is very difficult to start from in 2nd place. So that basically means Caleb Brown's going to probably be able to scoot by the 88 with relative ease.
Indeed, yeah, I mean,
or never mind. Apparently he's in 2nd. I saw Slaughter running in front of him, but I guess Caleb Brown is in 2nd, so disregard what I just said.
I think this is going to be a really spicy final few laps here at Bristol. I think this is going to be absolutely pure cinema here, or it could just be a bunch of cautions to the end. We'll never know.
Yeah, I think we have 2 green-white checkers in the bank if we need them. And then again, just look at position number 6. He's going to be 3rd on the outside, which I think being on the outside for him is absolutely perfect, because he's just going to go ring around that 3rd lane with all the grip in the world and probably pick off 2 of them in the first lap. Now he's going to have maybe 8 or 9 to work with. It's going to be tougher and tougher to make it happen, but I still think it's very well plausible that that 83 wins this race. Again, he is on the freshest tires by far, and Jeff Slaughter is on the worst tires of all by far in the 3rd spot. Caleb Brown has shown that he has even longer run pace than Brad Kress, so we know that 17 has something to work with, but this isn't a long run. This is a absolute short stint, and let's see if he can pull it off.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how this one goes. I mean, once again, about 10 laps to go. Anything can happen here. It is a short track, and I mean, it's pretty much going to be make or break for these drivers as we get ready for the restart here at Bristol.
Make or break indeed, as we come to 10 laps here to go in the Cultured Designs 175, sponsored by Terry Brooks and that number 23 car. Brad Kress early in the box, gets going there, gets a huge jump on 2nd. Nicholas Deal's going to try to ring it around the outside of the 88, who has the oldest tires, and then Again, watch out for that Twitch car in the background. He is coming with a head of steam and fresh Goodyear Eagles.
He's going to
2 for 1 right there.
Beautiful stuff there from that 83, wasting no time and getting moves done. And now he is looking to just claw into the podium spot. Several positions gained on just 1 lap. He's about to get another one. There's a tap in the background there. But, I mean, it's still all kicking off here with 8 to go.
Now, Slaughter is just being a traffic break to these guys. And, oh, Baxter into Hyatt. Hyatt losing it. Baxter losing it. They somehow managed to save it, I think. We got cars on the apron. We got cars all over the place here. Somehow we stay green through all that. Going back to the lead, 6 laps at Bristol will be eradicated in no time at all. And surprisingly, Bossy has already kind of stalled out with his speed. But Caleb Brown is close enough to take advantage. Crest washes up the track, giving the 17 the bottom of the track. Lets him close in just an inch closer. And now, here comes Adam Bossy. 3 cars under a blanket with 5 to go.
This is going to be a tight one. It is a battle of the Mustangs here with 5 laps to go. They come across the line now, and they're going to give it everything they've got. Caleb Brown trying the inside line. Adam Bossy going to try to even the more inside line. They almost touch going through. Brad Crest keeping the position for now, but we're going to see it now. Caleb Brown on the inside line. We saw Adam Bossy now trying to take the inside line for himself, but he's going to get the pass done.
No, he's not.
Now, but can he make it stick? No, he does not.
2 laps to go. He's going to clear this time by, or is he? He might just go 2 for 1. Bob's your uncle here, diving down to the inside. Cress is going to leave the bottom open. We got fresh tires to the bottom. We got the fastest car on the top to the outside. Who is going to get the win with 2 laps to go? 1 lap to go even. This is the white flag. We're side by side here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Bossy to the bottom. He's going to wash up the track. Cress to the outside. The momentum, a photo finish at Bristol. Don't say that too often. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Bossy by half a car length.
Wow. I mean, considering that the Polaroid car was just directly behind, a photo finish is a heck of an understatement. That was a very good drive from Bossy.
Get a photo finish. I mean, not quite a photo finish. I mean, we could dictate that normally, but that's much closer of a finish than you're going to see at Bristol Motor Speedway 7 days out of the week there. But we'll get one more look at it here into turn number 3 for the final time here, coming off the corner. And I am not the best slow motion person in the world. I will just be fully transparent about that. But let's just zoom on through here and let's get that final margin of victory. And let's see right here. What is that final margin going to be? Boom. That's about as close of a finish at Bristol as I've seen in a long time. But Adam Bossy's going to get that margin of victory by 1/100th of a second. Hopefully he drives into victory lane, because you actually can drive into victory lane here at Bristol on iRacing. But let's go start our post-race show, get this final margin of victory decided, and give you the rundown of results. Bossy gets the win by 1/100th over Brad Crest. Caleb Brown in 3rd. Herzog gets a 4th. Terry Brooks, our race sponsor, in 5th. Ryan Corgi Hyde in 6th. Timothy O'Connor in 7th. Deal, Baxter, and Slaughter. Remember, Slaughter, those older tires, he got the top 10.
And then taking a look at the next 10 drivers, it is Al Core, Takao Grutch, and then it is Curtis Mitchell, Elton Wu, James Honeycutt, Alan Kundman, Matt Harmon, Andrew Resendez, Adam Shaw, and Donna Ristow taking out the top 10 or top 20.
And then it's our last beta results. We got Benson in 21st. We got Alan Freeman. Dylan Freeman with Avril Lavigne in 22nd. Alex Squire 23rd. Crutch, he didn't have the best race, in 24th. Epting in 25th. Rulis, what is now the Savannah Bananas car, in 26th. Gerald Barton, Bates, and Fisher. Fisher and Bates did not take any time here today. But let's head down to Victory Circle, presuming that we have these drivers to our avail here. Adam Bossy, pardon me, we got the enunciation on that. Well, Adam, A Bristol photo finish. I didn't have that on my bingo card here today. You had the strategy, probably were going to make it, but then that perfectly timed caution to get the fresh tires. What was your mindset when that caution came out with like 25 to go?
You know, I don't know whether or not I was going to be happy or sad with it because I felt like I was running some pretty good pace. I was running 15.7s, 15.8s there when I had clear track, and I didn't think those guys on new tires were going to have enough time to come back around and get me. And then that caution came out, and I knew I was going to have the tire advantage, but it's really... I had no clue if I was going to have enough time to get back around, and I am shocked that I made it there in time, in all honesty.
Yeah, well, I don't want to pop your bubble, but you probably weren't going to win the race. They were coming. So it would have been interesting either way, but that caution came out, and from our perspective, you kind of stalled out there with about 5 laps to go. And then all of a sudden, I think the 9 maybe missed the bottom or something, and you got right to them. What was your mindset? 3 to go. They're basically side by side. Did you have a plan in mind of, all right, I got to do this, or that this is my line, or was it just waiting for the pieces to come together?
You know, I was watching the 9 and the 17 kind of race there, and I was hoping that those two would get side by side. If they would have stayed single file, I don't think I would have caught them. But really, you hear it every week, every weekend on the TV when they're talking about the pro guys. You got to start searching around, and if you don't start searching around early enough, you're not going to have enough time to make the move. So I moved my lane up a little bit and started getting a little bit more of a diamond in the corner, bringing it around. And I really started getting a run to the back of those guys. I was hitting the chip the entire time, probably those last 2 or 3 laps, going off into the corners. And thankfully, it worked out. I was door to door with Brad there at the end, and I appreciate the tight racing with Brad there. That was super fun. I didn't know if I got him right away.
Yeah, photo finish at Bristol. I can't remember, maybe late 80s, I think I remember one. But we head to Iowa next week there in the ARCA cars. New Iowa, relatively new to the service. What kind of experience or what kind of confidence you got that new version of Iowa?
New version, I would say I'm not super thrilled about. I enjoy the old one better, where you can kind of do the same thing you can do here at Bristol. You can go around the bottom, or you can go around the top if you really want to. But since they did all that patchwork, there's not a lot of opportunity to go, searching around and find lanes. So we'll see how we roll off. I'm hoping it'll be another good week, but it'll be a wait and see until then.
All right, absolutely, man. Well, thanks for putting on a show for us, getting yourself a victory lane, and see what you can do next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, that is our race winner. And then second by a fender, Brad Kress is with Patrick.
Hey, Brad, it was a very close race. You had a ton of pace in that number 9. Just walk us through how your race was here tonight.
It was pretty good. I like Bristol. It's, I guess, my home track. I just really did not need that last caution with, 20, 30 to go, whatever it was. As soon as that caution came out, I knew I was going to get screwed because some of those guys had stayed out longer and they were going to have fresher tires.
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky spot to be in. You pretty much had to gamble pretty much at any point in this race on when to pit, especially because there was a lot of long stretches without a caution coming out. You had some really good flow through this race. Is Bristol just one of those tracks that normally just clicks with you, or were you surprised about your performance here tonight?
No, I was just surprised as anybody else was, because usually I will burn the route run off this thing, off any car that I drive here. And normally I run up high. So I thought, well, let's try the bottom. Maybe that'll be different. So I don't know if that's what the difference was, but it seemed to be working out pretty good, though. I just couldn't get away from Caleb. He was right on my bumper the entire time. I couldn't shake him.
Next week, you guys are heading to Iowa for 135 laps. How are you feeling? What is your confidence level going into Iowa next week?
It's pretty good. I like Iowa. I always have. I've never ran great there, seems like, but I do like the track. Don't know what it is about it. I've always seemed to like it, though.
All right, last question before we let you go. Is there anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting this thing on. Y'all do an awesome job. I went back and watched it last week, and you guys do awesome. Shout out to Caleb. He ran me tough the entire race, but we ran clean, had some good racing, and shout out to Adam for the win there.
All right. Once again, congratulations on the P2 and best of luck next week in Iowa.
All right. Thank you.
All right, and now I've got P3, Caleb Brown, and he had that third place. So, Caleb, you had yourself in the mix all race, probably from the second half on. You were right on the back bumper of Brad, never really quite got by, but you gave him everything he had, and then you guys had to fight with that caution at the worst possible time. Just kind of walk through your mentality through this race, climbing up from 14th and being in the thick of it most of the time.
Yeah, qualifying was a bit disappointing. So first half of the race was really about just survival and picking off spots where I could, and then got the caution that kind of put me back up front in the top 5 close, and just kind of stayed with Brad and finally got around him, and then it was time to pit. And yeah, that yellow couldn't have fallen at really a worse time for us.
Now, we were talking in the booth here, like these races that have a multitude of cautions in the beginning, and you know that you have to pit at some point. Just where is your brain on, like, all right, which one of these cautions should I pit on? Because you always know in the back of your head there might not be another one. Was there a caution that you kind of wish maybe I should have pitted this time, or are you kind of confident with how your strategy went, kind of in hindsight?
With the tires, with only one set in the pits, it was just a little too early to try and stretch it on fuel. In hindsight, maybe I could have made it work, but I feel good with where I ended up.
Yeah, right on the cusp of it there in third. A tenth and a half off here in third at Bristol. That is a tight margin. Talking to the other guys, we are headed to updated Iowa on for next week's race. What's your confidence level there? Have you even driven a lap on the new version? I know some people have it.
Yeah, I think we ran there last season. It's not my favorite. The groove's a little tight. Right front conservation is going to be the key.
All right, well, we'll see what you can do there. Maybe you can get 2 positions higher on the podium and get that picture-perfect moment, man. But congrats on putting on a good show tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys commentating for us and putting on a show.
Not a problem, man. Love it. All right, well, that is a show here today. And a photo finish at Bristol, Patrick. That wasn't on my bingo card. A green flag set of pit stops and strategies like that. That wasn't on my bingo card. These guys gave us certainly something to remember tonight.
Oh yeah, this was a fantastic race to watch. They drove great. It was good to watch. Had a lot of fun here tonight. And honestly, I'm looking forward to next week in Iowa.
Yeah, should be a doozy. Make sure you stay tuned here on PTR TV. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff here. Looking at 1,900 subscribers as our next goal. Patrick will be back tomorrow night with Brad. They will be covering the Elbows Out Racing Series. They are at Sebring, if memory serves. And then we will be back on Sunday to start the Triple Bypass week off again, and would love to have you on along with us. But that's going to be Corey and Patrick signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.